Hi, I'm Cory, and I am prepping for our live stream tonight for Halloween. We're gonna run a Wailing Citadel game, and you can see just how massive the map is here. Brian's got one of his orcs on the map already, so we've got the outdoor and then the indoor, and I've got to set up my tokens, so I figured rather than just doing it on my own, I'd show everybody kind of how it works. First, you start with your roster, which I'm going to pull up here, and my roster is for Paladins, and I am let's say I've got about 9 games in, and my Paladins have been pretty successful. They have a 389 value, and they are the Peacemakers. And so there's definite comic book tie-in there, especially if you look down here. I got Eagly, my Griffin. So Paladins are probably one of the more complicated ones to set up, so I think that makes a really good one for an example. And on page 2, I've got a dog and a Nari and my mage's spells, and I've got my letter of credit and everything else. I tend to work just off of paper. Some people prefer to work online. Real time, but I find it easier to go back and clean up my sheet and reprint it when I'm done. And I stay more in touch with what's going on. Some games a lot happens, some games nothing happens. So anyway, we're not actually going to work on the Wailing Citadel map. If you ever want to join us and play online with us, I'll have to give you GM status, but then you can jump around. And in token storage, this is a handy little place where I'm going to zoom in here a bit. And these are a few of my war clans that I've been playing recently, and I haven't set up my Paladins yet, Peacemakers yet. So we'll do that today. And if I set them up here, the advantage is I can paste them into any other map and not have to go through this work of redoing them. So let me slide this over in camera just a little bit. Oh yeah, my face is going to be in the way. Nothing I can do about that. I will drag me over to this corner for this one so that you have a better hope of seeing what's going on. So right now, in the right-hand margin of Roll20, you can see we're in the chat window. And this is where I can type in and roll dice and that kind of stuff. But if we click over to, this is called the journal. And in there, I've got probably a couple thousand tokens at least, and they're always in progress. So we're going to go to War Clans, and then we're going to open the folder for Paladins, and I'm going to use the leather tokens, which sort of match my sheet. So I've got an order master named Peacemaker, and he's an interesting soul. He has a mount, and he has an eagle, a griffin that he rides, which is what we're going to do today. And I've got to go into Paladins haven't been updated for the living rulebook yet, so you'll see like the orcs and the dwarves here and the guild. They all have picture icons. Eventually the Paladins will get there. It's just a ton of work, and I haven't gotten to it yet. With the crowdfunding project on GameFound, that's been eating up my time. But it has been a pleasure to do that. They are great to work with, so I highly recommend any creators out there. GameFound will do a lot for you. I need to go into Unreal Beasts and into the mounts and get out my Griffin. All right, so let me show you how to update these so that they match my sheet. And we'll start with my Order Master here. Not surprisingly, his name is Peacemaker. So I'm going to change his name in this dialog box. I got to it by double clicking. And I am going to hit Save Settings. And now you can see it says Peacemaker down here. Now, Peacemaker does have a shield. And he has a skill called Captain, which allows him to grant up to 3 rerolls a game, which is very handy. And he has a skill called Valor, which is means that he cannot be frightened. And eventually he'll get emboldened, which will allow him to extend that to the rest of his group. So if I select Peacemaker, these 5 wheels show up, and this bottom wheel is where we control everything. And Peacemaker has Valor, and so it's a little icon that looks like that. And so all the other players know that he is fearless. And he's got a Paladin holy symbol that looks a little like this. Let's zoom in. Why make you guys stretch? This Paladin symbol is emblazoned on his duster, so that even the bad guys know that he's a Paladin, he's a good guy, and that can be good and bad. All right, so I am going to click him, and I'm going to click to front. And during the game, he's going to probably be riding Eagly most of the game. So let us... the grid's on. I'll have to turn that off. But it doesn't really matter much. Vanya, hello, Vanya. Help from my puppy. All right. Say hi to the camera, Vanya. Say hi. She's got her Halloween bandana on. All right. So you're going to sit down, and we are going to... Let's see. I was working on Eagly. Eagly causes fear and also grants that to Peacemaker while he's riding. He can fly. He has tough hide, so he's got that icon already on. And that's pretty much all we have to do for Peacemaker. And he's done. But Peacemaker does have a mount if he's on foot, if he ever needs that during the game. And his mount is named Mern. So I'm going to change that to Mern there and save settings. And you can see that I'm just going to bring the same symbols that are on Peacemaker over to Mern. And let's send this to back. And if Peacemaker needs to ride Mern at some point during the game, I'll just put him on there instead. But more than likely, my Squire Adebayo is going to be leading Myrn around. So Adebayo is a squire and a female. Whoops. And she doesn't have a mount yet. Sister Foot. All right. So, I will go ahead and put her name in there. Adebayo. I think I spelled that right. And I'm going to put S1 just so that I remember and maybe other players realize that she is the squire of Peacemaker. And she will not be able to keep up with him very well because he'll be flying unless she jumps on her flying carpet. All right, let's close up some of these things we don't need. And warrior templates, I think it's in there. Yep, artifacts. And she has a flying carpet, which is not showing up in there for some reason. Huh. Maybe it got in this section. Oh, you know what? There is a vehicle section. I probably should have it in both. I'll make a note to fix that. So she has a flying carpet that more than one can jump on. And that's how she'll keep up with Peacemaker, because Peacemaker flies at a speed of 15. We called it velocity in the game. And ads will be able to only go at 12, but she'll keep up okay. And she might not be able to take to the air if she is busy taking care of Myrn. Myrn is a really good horse, but Flying Eagle, a little better. Ads doesn't have any special skills or traits that I need to mark. Flying Carpet's kind of her one-trick pony. She is very smart. She's, I think, the smartest. Yeah, she's the smartest other than my mage on the clan. It's 3 psyche. And she has a magic skill called Lay on Hands, which allows her to heal the wounded in-game. So then next up, I'm going to do my other knight, who is named Vigilante. And Vigilante is got a horse. And his horse is named Waller. If anybody's been watching Peacemaker or Suicide Squad or Superman, you know where I'm stealing all this from. And he does have a shield. And he does have Valor. So my Paladins are just reaching that point value where they've done enough good deeds where they all start to become fearless. He's wearing a duster as well. And Waller is a great horse. It's got a lot of great skills. Hopefully those will show up in the game tonight. He's also, while riding, he's my second best defended character. So let's see. Let's get Vigilante on foot. And I'm going to double click him and change him to Vigilante. And we need to give him Valor when he's on foot. Some people don't bother to go ahead and make the 2 icons. For me, it's easy enough to draw and select 2 and drag them around after I measure. And it is much less confusing because, especially in a game like Wailing Citadel, at some point Vigilante is going to have to dismount and leave his horse if he wants to go inside. And so if I'm just using the one icon, people don't know if there's a rider or not without asking. So we're just trying to make folks' lives as easy as possible. Vigilante doesn't really have a whole lot of skills that I need to call out. So we will do his squire, Economos. And Economos is a male. Economos. And for some reason, he can't use Gerd. Oh. Oh, bummer. All right. It's been a month or two since I've played these guys. Economos got his arm lopped off a game or two ago, and so he cannot use the Gerd skill, which he has earned. He cannot carry a shield. So until I get some magic to heal that, he is on his own, I guess. Oh, I forgot to mark that he was a squire, so I'm going to do S3 there and update him. So that is the entire first page of my sheet. Pretty simple. Going to jump to the back, and this is where we get some interesting stuff. She's almost she's a filly. All right, so Harcourt is a Nari. Nari are the centaurs of the plains, and the human upper torso and the horse physique. And most of them they were all pacifists. And so when the WitchBorn took over the world, they obliterated the most of the Nari race. And so everyone assumes that they are WitchBorn just on sight. That's why they have the animosity trait. But Harcourt currently is fully mortal, so that's really good. And she is a filly, and that's all I need to put there. So Harcourt, I'm going to take off the swim icon. We've decided that those are best used when somebody is actually swimming, to indicate that they're not standing in water or drowning or something else like that. And she's got a few skills that I need to know, but I don't want other players to know that she has. So she's got some good stuff there. So nothing that I have to display at all to other players, which is an advantage to me. And then she also has a dog, Plains Cur. And I am afraid that I never, not living rulebook friendly yet. So I'm going to jump into the orcs here. And I'm just going to pull out a war dog. All right, and her war dog doesn't really have a name. The Nari just kind of call their animals like dog. So they're not real sentimental. But I will change it to say Plains Cur, and I'm going to tint the icon. So down here under tint, I'm going to pick a dark brown, and that helps a little bit. It still doesn't really match what I've got going on there, but until I get the proper icons made for the Paladins, it's going to have to work. One of the best things about the Plains Cur, well, the very best thing is they have a skill called Grapple, so they can knock down foes and kind of tie them up. But just in general, they have a skill called Conceal. Their tawny color kind of lets them blend into the plains. And so Plains Cur, I'll mark that with Conceal. It means even though it's only got a 2 agility, foes can't use more than 1 dice to shoot them. So very good. And then we're up to my last guy. So let's close up some of these windows on the side here. We don't need that to be a mess. And I have a monk on foot. And he is White Dragon. So double click him. And we'll change him to White Dragon. And anything else? White Dragon. Oh, I made a mistake. Harcourt did have a skill to mark. She starts with negative prestige and has to work her way up. And she has worked her way up to Valor. And not only has she worked her way up to Valor, yeah, she exceeds everyone in the clan. She is all about good deeds. All right. And then White Dragon also has Valor. So really, the only ones I have to worry about are my squires. They will probably get scared in playing Wailing Citadel, but, you know, you don't learn unless you play. The mage also has Lay on Hands, and we won't tell anybody. He's got this amazing skill called Enshroud, and so there's like a magical bubble that flares up around him when anybody rolls a shield hit or a parry hit, and he blocks it. So everybody will be mad when they attack him later and find that out. He has very limited spells. Holy cow. He does have a prep spell. So I'm probably going to sanctify. Yeah, I want to sanctify Peacemaker. Peacemaker actually does less damage than Vigilante does. And so I'm picking the Sanctify icon, and I can do one more. I'm going to Sanctify Harcourt. She is my Bow Maven. And Sanctify is this one. If you hover over any of these icons, they tell you what they are. And kind of the clue is anything that's for War Mage Diary has this orange star that you may or may not have seen on the War Mage Diary cover. But I am going to give Harcourt Sanctify. I don't have to show that to the other players, but we found that sometimes you forget to add the bonus when you play the game, unless that icon's there, because you get so used to looking there and you look less and less at your sheet. And so that adds +1 to damage against mortal foes and fairies, but against WitchBorn and against some of the shades we're going to see in the tower, it makes her longbow into a magical weapon, and it's going to take her up to +9 to damage. And usually +9 is going to get most anything as long as she doesn't roll a 1. So that's always good. And back to White Dragon, I'm not seeing a whole lot of other stuff that he's going to need to add. So this kind of lumpy mess here is my clan. just going to tighten them up, and I'm going to select them all just by drawing a box around them. I'm going to hit Command C, and I'm going to go back up to this little folder up here. I'm going to go to the Wailing Citadel page, and I'm going to hit close. And I'm just going to put this back to normal. And I'm going to put my guys out in the margin here. And so they're ready to play. So you can see it's pretty easy, and I only have to do that once. If I get any great new skills, I can always mark those on the token storage page, and then they're ready to play on any of the maps. And just to show you guys, so far we have Enter Perdition, The Pit, and Nightfall, Wandering Forest, Field of Screams, Wailing Citadel, and a quick start up. And like I say, owners of the game are free to join in our games, or you can play on your own. I just got to give you access, so shoot me a note on Discord or whatever else. And while we're here, I do want to mention we're doing the live stream tonight of Wailing Citadel at 8 Eastern, so I hope you tune in. And if you have not pledged on GameFound yet, this might be the weekend for you. There's 3 stretch goals that have unlocked, but it's just for this Halloween weekend. It's good till midnight Central Time on Sunday night, so don't miss your chance. I'm just going to read the timestamps of when people backed. And if you haven't followed the project, because maybe you're not even interested in getting Wailing Citadel, do us a favor and go to GameFound. There is a link in the comment section for the page. And if you would just hit that little heart, that follow button, that unlocks some stretch goals for the rest of the gang. We're trying to get up to kind of a combined 500 total of follows and backs, and we're really close. We're zooming in on 450. We're also zooming in on some other stretch goals, so if you were going to back, this is the weekend to do it. You'll get more free stuff than if you get into the project later. So I appreciate everything. Like I said, even a follow really makes a difference to us. And that's about all I have to share today. Thanks. And be sure and tune in for that live stream tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you.